How many projects have you thought about starting but never did because you just weren't ready? How many opportunities did you miss just because everything wasn't perfect right before you started? Probably a lot of them. I'm going to give you a piece of advice right now. Just start. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for all the stars to align and for everything to be perfect before you actually start. Just get started. The best time for you to get started was years ago. The second best time to start is right now. The simple fact is that you're never going to be as ready as you want to be. There's always going to be more that you can do, more things that you can prepare for, but at the end of the day, you're not going to be as ready as you want to be. This happened for me personally when I was training powerlifting a couple years ago in 2020. For those who don't know, powerlifting consists of three main lifts. You have the bench press, you have the deadlift, and you also have the squat. Now, I was getting decently good at all of these lifts. I was in the top end for my body weight. I was about 70 kilos. And my bench was 130 kilos, my squat was 200 kilos, and my deadlift was 220 kilos. In my head, I told myself that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't able to compete with these world-class athletes who had 30 to 40 kilos more than me on every single lift. And so in comparing myself to these elite athletes, I was like, look, I'm not good enough. And so I set these goalposts. I said, you know what? I'm going to hit these numbers. I'm going to hit 140. I'm going to add like 10, 15 kilos on all of my lifts. And then I'm going to compete. And it goes without saying that I never reached these numbers. I never competed. I never did these things. And looking back, I really regret not doing these things. Is there something that you want to do that you're waiting for something to happen first? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. I know it's difficult to get started. You want to get it perfect and do it right the first time. I understand. I'm a perfectionist myself. Starting this YouTube channel, it really brought out the perfectionist inside of me. There were so many redos, re-edits, retakes, so many things that I did again and again and again. I probably have like 3 or 4 copies of my first initial video, and so that's not the first one that was released. And here's the thing, even after uploading, there was so many mistakes that I could see with the editing, with the delivery, with all of the B-roll. There was so many issues and so many problems with the video, and I was like, wow, I posted this thing, I tried to make it perfect, but at the end of the day, there was still errors, there was still problems, there was all of this stuff that was wrong. Now, if you guys are interested in seeing that video, here is the first video that I ever posted. It's a little bit cringe-worthy, so please give me a break. No matter what you do in life, when you start a new skill, you're going to suck. You're going to be really, really bad no matter what it is, and there is a big learning curve in no matter what you do, okay? It's a fact of life. If you sit there and try and analyze every single situation that's going to happen, trying to make everything perfect, you may accidentally give yourself analysis paralysis. Now, analysis paralysis is basically where you look at every single situation in so much depth, trying to look at all the permutations and combinations, trying to see every single possible outcome, and then as a result, you're just frozen because you are so worried about everything that's going to happen that you just don't execute. Now, I personally have really, really bad analysis paralysis, and so I made a commitment recently to do whatever I want to do. You know, things that I'm thinking about doing, I just go ahead and do it. Kind of like Jim Carrey's Yes Man. And here's the thing, even if you plan every single day, you plan heaps, you're still going to make mistakes when you do it, right? You can plan and try your best not to make mistakes, but eventually you're going to make these mistakes. You're going to do things that are wrong. Another thing that you should try without thinking is smashing that like button if you're finding this video useful. A commitment that I said yes to recently without even thinking about it was Olympic weightlifting. Now, coming from a background of powerlifting, I always was really interested in this more elegant way of lifting weights, and so I just went for it. I hired a coach. Hi Josh and Maddie, if you see this, thanks for everything. I want to be a doctor, so I sat the UCAT last year. I want to be a YouTuber, and so I'm making YouTube videos. It may very well end up that I don't become a weightlifting champion, I don't become a doctor, and I don't become a famous YouTuber. Even if I fail miserably, it doesn't really matter too much because I'm really content knowing that in 40 to 50 years, when I'm old and gray, I can look back at this time and look at all of the things that I tried out and have no regrets on my life and all of the things that I tried. I can say, look, I tried it, didn't work out, it wasn't meant to be, but I gave it a shot. And honestly, I believe so many people dream of quitting their job and following their passion and doing something else because they didn't actually try it earlier when they had the chance. Frankly, it's horrible advice to tell someone to quit their job and just to follow their passion with no questions asked. I did a fantastic video about it right here if you want to check it out. No matter what the project is, whether it's small, whether it's it's large. I'm telling you to get started. This video is a sign for you to get started. Whether you're writing a book or starting a YouTube channel, or you just want to get in shape and get some rock hard abs for summer. Once you do start, be ready for all of the mistakes, mishaps, and misfortunes that are going to come your way. And don't worry, they will. It doesn't matter how much you plan. It doesn't matter how much you do. There are always going to be things that go wrong. Each time that you mess up is a new opportunity for you to make it right, to change, to make it better for the next time that you actually do it. There's this really good quote that goes, "The master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried." Now, I know this is a really cheesy quote, but I fully agree with the sentiment of it. You can't get better at something if you just sit there and plan and you don't actually do any of the work. It's kind of like expecting to be an NBA star just because you've watched the playoffs for 15 years. You're not magically going to become Michael Jordan after watching all of his games and watching Space Jam. That's just not how it works. You gotta put in your own reps day in and day out in order to actually get there. Yeah, let me scratch that. There ain't gonna be another Michael Jordan. Maybe Scottie Pippen if we're lucky, but no more Michael Jordans are coming around. So this video was your sign to stop procrastinating and to actually get started on your project. Don't wait for some magic sign to tell you to get started. Don't wait for that new camera. Don't wait for that new pen. Just get started today. It's better to fall flat on your face many times than to wake up in 30 years time full of regret thinking about what could be. Thanks for tuning in today, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. So, you're still here. Consider watching one of these videos, will ya? See ya.